message. Because you go in a slave, don't you? And then you come out a free son and daughter of God. And how beautiful that is to be able to confess your sins. And I would call that getting off the sidelines, getting into the game, becoming involved with who Christ is for us. It's an incredible opportunity. This morning we had a men's morning of reflection. We had about 40 men there. It was wonderful. And I'm thankful for all those men who got off the sideline and came to this men's morning of reflection. And a lot of the men commented about the parish and how much it is a place of embrace and life and joy to be able to enter into that. So they got off the sideline, they were able to enter into the joy of Christ and who Christ is for us. He loves us so much, and he just wants to pour that out in our hearts. And we read about that, and we're very moved that he's died for us. And we're remembering that this weekend and next weekend too, about his passion for us. Though he was in the form of God, Jesus did not deem equality with God something to be grasped at. Rather, he emptied himself and took a form of a slave. Jesus emptied himself of himself so he could be for his Father. And that's what we celebrate with Jesus. Next Thursday night, we're going to have our Mass of the Lord's Supper. It will be at 6 o'clock this year. And so I have a question for you right now. Where are you going to be next Thursday night at 6 o'clock? Bono, who is the head of U2, and real well-known rock group. He was talking with a man he considered wise and holy one time, and he was saying, I was talking to this man, this wise man, and I was saying, what song should I write next, and what tour should I do, and what humanitarian outreach should I give? Because he does a lot of that, a lot of good work for this world. And this wise man said to him, why don't you get with Jesus and do what he's already doing? So that would be the whole idea of emptying ourselves and saying, you know what, I'm going to empty myself of myself, and I'm just going to try to get with Jesus and do what Jesus is doing. Do you think, and I thank God, I was reflecting on this recently, and just the mercy of God, that God allowed me to empty myself out enough that I would be a priest. Because if I hadn't emptied myself out enough and said, enough of you, John, what is God doing and what does God want to do for you? I would never, ever be standing up here before you. Absolutely not. Not in a million years. And I would have the grace and the blessed life that I do serving as a priest. So when we think of next Thursday at 6 o'clock, I ask us all to do this. Empty yourself of yourself. And what's Jesus going to be doing for us next Thursday at 6 o'clock for us in the Eucharist? What he's going to be doing is he's going to be establishing the Eucharist to feed all people for all time with this incredible love. He's giving us his life in the Eucharist. And that's what he'll be doing for us next Thursday at 6 o'clock. I encourage us to empty ourselves of ourselves and say, Jesus, where do you want me to be? What do you want me to be doing? What will you be doing? How can I come empty before you so that you can fill me with you? To become empty before God and watch what God will do for us. Maybe some of us have been on the sidelines forever during the Holy Triduum, and we've never entered into that. I invite us to empty ourselves and to enter in to what and who Jesus is for us in his dying, his suffering, and his rising for us. To enter into that. To empty ourselves and say, Jesus, what are you doing? Jesus, if it's something new you want to do with me, so be it. I come before you empty. And I will do what you're doing and what you're asking me to do. for you, for your glory.